Why should we hire you for this job? Ultimately, that's the only question that's being asked in any job interview. Every answer you give should be filtered with that as the primary objective, regardless of the words that are being used. By the way, notice that there are two parts to the question. Why should we hire you and for this job? It's really that simple. But in that simplicity is a great deal of complexity. Let's unravel just a few of those strands, if you will, right now. There are 4 basic stages to the job interview. Now, you all know the drill. Stage 1 is the huge cascade of job applicants whose resumes get sifted down to only those that meet the basic qualifications. Then there's stage 2, and stage 2 is where the candidate pool gets narrowed down even further after some screening and initial interviews. Now comes the hard part, stage 3, getting you from stage 2 to the short list of finalists. So you're probably wondering, how are we going to get you there? Well, I'm not going to sing, but we will tell you how we do it. Now, this stage sort of reminds me of a TV talent show. Getting 4 yeses from the judges at the audition is really nice, but the major mission is becoming a finalist and ultimately getting the job. These tips today will help you get there. Now remember, you've reached stage 3 because you already met the technical requirements. Now the attention turns to the why hire you among all the other technically qualified candidates, which means, yes, now it gets personal.
It's not personal, Sonny. It's strictly business.
With all respect, this time it is personal. You've passed those technical qualifications and screening. Now they're looking for whether you fit in with their culture. It's all personal. It's kind of like a first date. Are we compatible? Do I like you? When it's all said and done, they're deciding whether you'll be a good addition to the family. They're filtering through everything you say, everything you do, and how you do it to identify not just what you bring to the performance table, but your compatibility with the team. In the workplace, another key ingredient is showing your ability to take initiative. Now, here are a couple of points straight from my book. You've got to demonstrate your ability to take direction, but that you have the skills to see what to do before someone needs to tell you to do it. That's taking initiative. Share an example of how you've done that in the past. Underlying everything is the power of what I call connective language. To build those connections that will tip the balance in your favor. At this stage, your answers have to do more than just deliver content and words. It's all about your micro messages, your facial expressions, your gestures, your tone of voice, pacing, inflection, nuance, and a lot more. These are all powerful in building comfort and connection. Now, I cover this extensively in my 30-minute program on connective language. In that session, I make it very clear it's not about faking it. But when learned, and learned well, connective language enables you to read the audience, learn the culture, adapt, and make that personal connection, separating you from the rest of the pack. Earlier, I said the interview was like a first date, but unlike a date, the interview is not a balanced two-way street. There's an imbalanced power dynamic on that street. You see, you have one lane, so to speak, and they have 2. They're the ones who ultimately call the shot if you want that job. Now let's not forget about asking questions, which is also covered in my full session. But here are a couple of some of my favorites to ask at the end. Here's one. Could you describe the culture of what it's like to work here? Now, that's a hard question for most people because people don't normally describe culture. But when put in that position, they will likely reveal a lot of information about what the culture is like there, and it'll give you information about whether this is the right place for you. Here's another one. When people work together on projects here, would you say that they're more competitive or collaborative with one another? Now, this is another important question because there are many environments where people are very competitive and I win because you lose, which means the project may not win, but I appear to be really good. It helps my career. Or is it an environment where people are more collaborative, striving to accomplish the goal together? You want to know that. Here's another. If you could snap your fingers and change one aspect of the company's way of doing business, well, what might that be? Now, that's a question that really uncovers where their sore spot is, the underbelly, if you will, because they will likely reveal to you what the problem is that they see. And if they experience it, it's probably something that others experience as well. Their answer might open a window, revealing whether or not this is the right place for you or whether you should turn and run in the opposite direction. And if you really want to leave a lasting impression, create what I call a resume addendum. Now, what the heck is that? Well, they already have your resume, of course. And everyone knows a resume shouldn't be more than a page or two. But you clearly have a lot more to say about yourself and your accomplishments and what will fit on a resume. It's that additional information that goes into a resume addendum. It's a really powerful tool that sets your candidacy apart from everyone else. It's segmented by your skill categories, targeted to their needs. Whatever happens in an interview, they're never going to remember all that detail. The resume addendum is a digital and a hard copy leave behind that fills in those gaps, makes you more memorable, and really sets you apart from the rest of the pack. Then there's stage 4. Stage 4 is the final interview. It's what I call orchestrating the offer. You begin that not after you get the offer, but as a part of that final stage. For more on orchestrating the offer, connective language, or creating a resume addendum, just comment the word addendum. Spelling doesn't count. And I'll send you information on all 3 to help move you from the short list to getting the job.